Good day, everybody. I find it important at the end, whether that's the end of a course, whether it's the end of a book, an end of a career, or end of a life, to look back, to reflect, and to talk about what you've learned. A number of reasons why we do it or should do it. One is that we can help those who come after us with how to live their life a bit differently or better, how to do things differently or better. If nothing else, there's lessons that we've learned through our time that may be beneficial to others. They may not, but we should at least leave a story, some kind of journal that says, this is what I've done. Here's maybe some things that you may do, or at least some things that you may consider. So I want to take a couple minutes and talk about some things that I learned, and then maybe at the end leave you with some central lessons or key lessons that I think kind of summarize what maybe we should learn from a course, or learn from a program, a degree, learn from a job, or as I mentioned earlier, just learn from life. Hopefully the next couple of minutes will be somewhat interesting. It won't take up too much of your time and effort to at least get a perspective. And my goal is really to encourage you to do the same thing. Create your own plan. Create your own video that talks about what you've learned so that people can learn from you as much as you've learned from maybe others who've learned that you've learned from. It's a great saying from China, and it says, a 70-year-old man can learn from a 71-year-old man. So no matter where you are in your life, you could learn something, anything, from somebody else that just may make your journey, your path, the road you travel just a bit easier. With that, here's what I've learned. As the sands of life fall in the hourglass, I've learned that we must work hard and be nice to others. I have a saying on my desk that says, work hard, be kind, and never give up. That's where we must work hard and be nice to others. As we look at our world, our governments, one of the things that time and time again comes up is this ability to work and work hard, and that you can have just about anything you want in life if you're willing to work for it. Work hard and be nice to others. And we can dream the impossible dream, but also be determined to achieve it. Dreams are important. Dreams show where you need to go. But in order to get there, you have to kind of move. There's another saying that says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So, certainly dream the impossible dream, but be determined to achieve it. I've learned that we have far more power to control our future than others do to destroy it. There are people you're going to meet throughout your time on this earth whose central ambition is to destroy others, whether it's the way they talk about them or even certain actions that can affect their employment in the future. But we have far more power to control our future than others do to destroy it. I've also often said that everyone has something, and what you do with that something can make you a somebody. That means that we have so much more control. There's another saying that says, you can control the way you live your life, but not the way others judge your life. Same concept. We do have far more power to control our future. And that it's not what we were given that matters, but what we do with what we're given. There's people born on third base in a baseball game and never make it home. There's people born on first base, and certainly not only do they make it home, but they keep going around and around and around the bases. That's an analogy. But what it means is it's much more important to do something with what you have than to bemoan the fact that you never had it. Interesting lessons, and they continue. I've learned that no matter the obstacle, regardless of the challenge, irrespective of the sacrifice, you have to stand for something, work for something, fight for something, and hopefully all are related to being decent, honorable, and just. All the while never faltering or wavering, never giving in and never giving up, and never fearing failure or what others think. In fact, the fear of failure and the fear of what others think has destroyed the ambitions of most men and women and others. It's destroyed the ambitions of most people. So, no matter what the challenge is against us, Stand for something, work for something, and fight for something that's decent, honorable, and just. Fight for something that is going to improve the world, that is going to make the world better as a result of what you've done and before you embarked on that important journey. You look at so much of the histories of not just this country, but the world, and those histories were usually changed. Those histories were developed because someone, someplace, stood up against some type of injustice. They thought that their battle was decent, honorable, and just, and that any repercussions were certainly acceptable, because to stand by and do nothing just simply was unacceptable. I've also learned that what's right always trumps over what is wrong, that kindness always trumps over hatred, and that goodness always trumps over evil. These are hard lessons. They're hard lessons because sometimes people do what's wrong and get rewarded for it. They cheat, and they may get a reward. They lie, and they also get a reward. But I've always found that justice is a certainty. We may not have justice today. We may not receive justice tomorrow. But at some point in the future, justice will arrive. There's so many people that we can talk about who throughout their lives have been mistreated. They have been aligned by people that they shouldn't have, but yet they keep going. And then you find out a year, 5 years, even 10 years later, you find out, wow, you know that person who that other person was saying or doing something against, that other person lost their job, or even worse. Justice is a certainty, and that's why what's right always triumphs over what's wrong, that kindness always triumphs over hatred, and goodness always triumphs over evil. Finally, I've learned that what matters is not whether we achieved our hopes or realized our dreams. What matters is whether we tried. What kind of try? That we tried to be good and tried to do good, tried to make someone better, and tried to make something better. What really matters at the end is that we fought the good fight, that we did the best we could with what we had, that we did what was right, and in some small way, anyway, we made a difference. That's the important aspect. And so my wish, as we move to conclude this presentation, is very similar to what I said at the beginning. My hope for you is that as you enter the last days of your class, of your program, even your life, that you be grateful for the gift of time that you're granted and believe you did something good with the time you were granted, so that you can look back on a life that has been lived, on a life that's had purpose, on a life that mattered, and on a life that always looked for the good along the road of life. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the day.